So I've been having this conversation with this dude, SFG911, on one of Concordus's videos in the comment section. And it's got to the point that I'm just like, screw it. I'm just going to make a video about this. And I'm going to talk about what my ideas, my understandings of church and religion and Jesus are. So after I pretty much said that, I asked him if he read the Bible, any books in the Bible. And I told him I've been going to church for a while and I know more about it. And I'm pretty much just saying that you just criticize something that you can't fully understand or you can't fully comprehend because you're not a part of it or you haven't been any part of it. And then he says, churches don't teach you about the Bible, they teach you about what they want to know. Then he gives me this book that he wants me to read. And then he pretty much tells me that he'll tell me more about church than you will learn in 1,000 years. Look, bro, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know the thought process I've came to about church, about religion. And I'll tell you straight up, I have came to a lot of negative thought processes and understanding about church and religion, not of Jesus' message. The one thing that has been consistent with my understanding is that I've never came to a negative position, a negative understanding about what Jesus taught. Look, in the basic level of understanding, church is an authority system. And what is an authority? The authority system is something that is meant to oppose a certain moralistic understanding, a certain belief system on a certain group or population. And that's what church does, or churches do. And when you say churches don't teach you about the Bible, they teach you what they want you to know. This is true. Churches teach you and use certain context from the Bible and use that to determine a certain moralistic understanding that can be reference to our modern lives, and this is a positive aspect. It wouldn't make any sense for a pastor to come up here and talk from the reference point of 2,000 years ago because it has no connection with our modern day lives. So churches do what they do to have a certain moralistic message that helps people grow in the understanding of their spiritual connection with God, and that's what churches do. Now, when you talk about Jesus' message being fictional and all that other stuff, that shit is debatable because of the fact no one actually has proof, or no one is 2,000 years old to the point to which we've lived a consistent life. Look, Jesus' message was simple. It is about actively being members in your community and being active members in the areas to which you are in to help people and to be an aid to people. That's what Jesus' message was about. It's like heal the sick, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, and help the poor. That's what Jesus' message was about. It was about actively going out and helping people. But the church has stepped in as an authority figure and pretty much said that, to you people that don't really want to do it, you can just put money in this magic basket and we, the church, will actually just do the legwork for you. So you can go and you can throw money in the magic basket and everything will be A-okay. And I think this has hurt a lot of the has hurt the ability to actually do positive things for people or from Christians. That Christians could be doing a lot more and have a lot better effect on the world around them if they were active members in certain communities. But it's like, churches have now been to the point of being active members of buying off people's, peace of mind. It's like I look out here and I see all these churches, but no church is ever bold enough to say, you know what, the money you're going to give us today, give us half of that, or give us, 3/4 of that, and that other quarter, go out and find a homeless person and get them some food, or go out and find, a good charity or good organization that isn't connected with a church or isn't connected with this or that, and give money to that. I mean, I haven't yet to hear a church go or speak about certain issues like that, and it's because of the fact that they're in to make a certain monetary means and a certain monetary value. But again, I digress to the point that I say that Jesus' message is still true and still very much so positive. Because Jesus' message was not the church's message at this modern day and age. The church is an authority system. You expect the authority system to act in certain ways, just like government acts in certain ways. The church is an authority system and government is an authority system. It's generally made to have a certain level of acceptability through its actions from the people that are under its level of governance. And Jesus, and he says in this other message that Jesus wasn't special. Like most spiritual teachers back then, Jesus wasn't that special. If Jesus wasn't that special, why are we still talking about him 2,000 years later? It makes no sense to think that Jesus was not a special or very much so good teacher, because his message, his teachings are still being taught today in this day and age, 2,000 years later. I think that makes him kind of special. But you come to this point of position of talking about Jesus from a skeptic's point of view, and it's fine to be a skeptic, so on and so forth. But to think that that point of view is the most logical, the most well known, the well understood, without understanding the benefit that comes from the message like Jesus taught, you really don't know what you're talking about. And I said that what did I say? The atheistic stereotyping. And this is just a fancy way of me saying that a lot of atheists nowadays come out and they generate this idea and this understanding about certain religious people and certain religions, and they frame this or they instill this on anybody they debate automatically. So they categorize these people as this imaginary understanding that they came up with about religion. So anybody they debate a Christian, they debate a Muslim, they already have a preset understanding about how these people think and how these people interact and react to certain understandings, certain perspectives, and they look at this as a basic level of interaction. So the second that, like me or someone that believes or has a certain understanding, a certain perspective on certain ideas, comes to the conversation, they already have a certain perspective of how I think and how I interact and how I believe. And in all reality, you don't know me, you don't know what I think, you don't know the thought process I came up with or what I really came to. And I'll just tell you right now, I mean, when I was in middle school, I came to the point of just questioning this, pretty much saying that, you know what, it makes a lot of sense that, the church pretty much used hell as a way to scare people into just a level of just acceptance of the belief. Because you can say, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to kill you. But more than me killing you, you're going to suffer forever because you don't do what I say. That's a pretty good motivator. It's a pretty good motive, pretty much, to get people to do anything. But I still believed in God. It wasn't like that I looked at the religion as the sin of God. Religion was the sin of man, or the sin of the authority system that was created by man to have a certain level of control over people. Even Christianity was preached at the end of a blade, and in the Bible it says, "Thou shalt not kill." I mean, there's constant contradictions when it comes to the authority system. The authority system will allow a lot of shit to go down and happen just because of the fact that it's a motherfucking authority system. And that's just how the authority system works. The authority systems are meant to outlast people and have control over people. So people's voice in the general overall concept of the authority system, power, and overall rule is kind of pointless. Like an individual voice against, the voice of a general powerful authority system means absolutely nothing. And you take the authority system and you try to twist it and turn it and, contradict Jesus' message. But Jesus' message still stands what it stands as. And that message is to help and care about people in a very basic manner, just to help and care about each other. And why shouldn't we do that? And I can even think that, you can take Jesus' message and you can use it with an atheistic perspective. I mean, if you don't believe there's a God and you don't think that God is out there and not going to help anybody, why don't atheists actively, generally say more honestly and more urgently, we need to help people right fucking now because of the fact God is going to help these people. God's not going to help these people. These people are all waiting for God to help them. And all these Christians and, all these other religious people think that God's going to help these people. Well, God's not coming to help these people. We need to help them now. I think if atheists really thought reasonably and logically, had any level of critical thought, they would realize that there is a shitload of people suffering and that they need to do something about it now because a lot of these religious people are under the delusion that God is out there or so on and so forth. God's going to help these people. I mean, that's just like that's just a particular issue that I took and used in a positive means. I mean, that kind of comes from a humanist perspective, but me being a humanist and all, but but yeah, Jesus' message is still very much so good. It's about helping people. The only problem is people don't follow it. People go to church to buy peace of mind for being Christians. That's what people go to church for. It's not to it's to buy pretty much peace of mind. It's try to live a higher moral life while buying peace of mind for yourself. And most people don't actually do the moralistic understanding that is given to them in church. But churches still do try, and they still have a lot of good messages. It's just that, people don't try. And that's my thoughts on religion. Jesus, not all of them, but, just some of them. And atheism, it's... like what? Like really? Like atheism isn't the answer to anything. So why are you trying to equate it with religion? I don't get that. I don't understand that. If you want to believe in that or believe that certain issue or particular issue like you want to believe it, that's fine. But why do you need to champion atheism? Which I see people like Thunderfoot and Concordance doing, and that other dude, Aaron. You know, they seem to be champion atheism. And then they fall back on this perspective like, well, atheism is just a lack of belief. But if it's just that, why are you trying to champion it? I mean, if it's just a lack of belief, you know, I have a lack of belief that, you know, fucking, you know, I'm gonna die in a tornado. So I have a lack of belief in a lot of things. I don't try to champion in these issues. And that's the other thing. Like, you can't, I don't think you can champion an issue that you just can describe as a lack of belief in. I think a lot of these people have a lot of belief in atheism. And that's why they try to champion it. Yeah, I literally, I'm going to make the hypothesis that in order to champion a certain issue, you have to have a certain level of belief in it. So Thunderfoot believes in atheism. Concordus believes in atheism. The other dude, Aaron, believes in atheism. TJ, I got respect for him, so I'm going to leave him out of this one. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on religion and atheism and yada yada. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you did like it, thumbs up. And actually, hopefully you heard what I was saying, and it didn't just thumbs down because I was talking about atheism and religion and, you know, negative and positive ways. Okay, deuces.